Donald Trump Jr. on the third day of the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio, July 20, 2016, by Tom WilliamsCQ. Roll call. Getty Images. When Donald Trump's eldest son feels threatened, he has an unnerving tendency to post complete records of his correspondence on the internet. Just as he did last time details emerged of his questionable communications with Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, Donald Trump Jr. responded to an Atlantic report about his communications with WikiLeaks, beginning at the height of the presidential election and continuing into last summer, by publishing his exchanges with the group. The exchanges themselves are not overtly damning. Don Jr. responded to messages from WikiLeaks just 3 times, and ignored most of its increasingly bold requests. What could ultimately prove more troublesome to the Trump administration are the actions Trump Jr. did or didn't take at the organization's urging. Congressional investigators already knew of Don Jr.'s correspondence with WikiLeaks, which he shared with the Senate Judiciary Committee in September. The screenshots Trump Jr. tweeted came from a file his lawyers turned over to the committee. "We can say with confidence that we have no concerns about these documents, and any questions raised about them have been easily answered in the appropriate forum," Alan Futerfas, a lawyer for Trump Jr., said in a statement to the New York Times. Still, the documents add new insight to the web of communications linking the Trump campaign, Russia, and intermediaries like WikiLeaks, which United States intelligence agencies believe acted as a pipeline for emails stolen from the Clinton campaign and the Democratic Party on behalf of the Russian government. The messages range from requests by WikiLeaks for a copy of Trump Sr.'s tax returns, to the suggestion that the Trump campaign reject the election results, should Hillary Clinton win. Most of the messages went unanswered, but after the organization messaged Trump Jr. asking if he had any comments on the launch of a PAC-run anti-Trump site PutinTrump.org on September 20, 2016, he responded the next day. "Off the record, I don't know who that is, but I'll ask around. Thanks," he wrote, citing a source familiar with the congressional probe. The Atlantic reported that Trump Jr. then sent an email to Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, Brad Parscale, and Jared Kushner informing them of WikiLeaks' initial outreach, which Kushner then forwarded to Hope Hicks. Trump Jr.'s next interaction with WikiLeaks came weeks before his father's victory, on October 3, when the organization asked him to push a story that quoted then-presidential hopeful Clinton asking if they could just drone WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. Within 2 hours, Trump Jr. responded, "Already did that earlier today. It's amazing what she can get away with." Then, minutes later, the Trump campaign surrogate asked, "What's behind this Wednesday leak I keep reading about?" an apparent reference to the bombshell Clinton News Tremolay and occasional advisor Roger Stone teased the day prior. The president's son did not respond to WikiLeaks' later messages, which continued until July 2017, but he did continue to share content from the organization. On October 14, 2016, he tweeted, "For those who have the time to read about all the corruption and hypocrisy, all the WikiLeaks emails are right here, http://wlsearch.tk." Days earlier, WikiLeaks had messaged him, "Strongly suggest your dad tweets this link if he mentions us," and thanked Trump Jr. for the praise he and his father had heaped on the organization. This batch of exchanges is much less damning than those Trump Jr. published earlier this year, in which he enthusiastically responded, "I love it," to the prospect of receiving damaging information on Clinton from Veselnitskaya. Indeed, they're more notable for the proof they contain that WikiLeaks sought to derail Clinton, but wanted to appear impartial in a 3-pronged argument as to why Trump Jr. should share with it his father's tax returns. The organization argued that the vast amount of stuff that we are publishing on Clinton will have much higher impact, because it won't be perceived as coming from a pro-Trump, pro-Russia source. The exchange with WikiLeaks does not appear to be legally problematic itself. While it was believed by some that the group was working, or being used, as a cutout for Russian military intelligence, it is not clear that Trump Jr. would have been aware of that fact, nor would anything he said be incriminating even if he did. Assange's influence in the 2016 campaign could also reasonably be seen as in keeping with his organization's anarchic objectives. As The Intercept's Glenn Greenwald pointed out, WikiLeaks reaching out to Trump Jr. fits with its broader goal, using transparency and leaking documents to make it more difficult for the U.S. to function efficiently. And while he conceded that it is fair to criticize the organization if one thinks their goal was to help Trump win, that wasn't exactly a secret to anyone who was paying attention. Assange's worldview, his perception of WikiLeaks functions, as well as his strong dislike for Clinton, who wanted to imprison him, have been very clear for quite a long time, he added, as has his view that impeding U.S. hegemony through leaks is a virtue. Rather, the exchanges serve, as Susan Hennessy of the Lawfare blog put it to the Washington Post, as another strand in the rope. While they don't overtly prove anything, they fit the general pattern that has emerged when it comes to Trump campaign officials. Every single time these guys are offered dirty materials or illicit contacts, their response is to say yes and push further, Hennessy said, adding that it's hard not to think that someone, somewhere crossed the line into criminality.